we are joined by Hillary Mandaba. He is the reigning Mr. Tourism World Zimbabwe and former Mr. of Zimbabwe King 2024. He's also an environmental activist and sustainable fashion designer. He's also been recognized as the runner-up for the Ignite Youth Award for Pollution Prevention and Recycling. And beyond modeling, Hillary is a philanthropist, a motivational speaker, and is the founder of Speak and Strut, a mentorship program that blends confidence in public speaking with modeling excellence, empowering young people, especially underrepresented voices, to thrive in the industry with professionalism, resilience, and purpose. Hillary, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning. Obviously, reigning Mr. Tourism World and former Mr. of Zimbabwe Kings, but just going through your profile, they're also actively involved in environmental issues, public speaking, and all this. How do you juggle it all together?
To be honest, it's only that it was a journey. There's a saying that says, 4 7 times, stand up 8. Basically, when I was a kid, when I was young, I was just like one person that was always on the ground almost all the time. But later on, realizing that there's something out there that can actually chip in into the world, and the world will actually be able to benefit from it. That's when I actually started venturing into modeling, just because I needed a space, a safe space for me to show the world who I am.
And what have been some of the takeaways for you in terms of just maybe your own confidence and growth from that decision to go into modeling?
It was really surreal in the sense that I myself, I wasn't really believing in myself, but I was really trying to make sure that people out there, they're able to see the talents that are within me as a person, and then shining through the light, because there's always a saying that says that, as Charles Darwin once said, it's neither the fittest nor the strongest animals that survive in the jungle, but the ones which adapt to change and pursue excellence. So hence, the change is me, in that sense.
I think just traditionally, when we think about modeling, we think about women. As a guy getting into the modeling space, was there any pushback or was there support throughout the way in terms of you choosing that as something that you wanted to sort of pursue?
Not really support, as we say, because this is a women-dominated industry. I think we all know female models more than the male models. So us, we're trying, as the first Mr. of Zimbabwe King 2024 at the first ever, I'm more like the pioneer. So I mean, you say that it wasn't really a safe space for us, but we're trying to make sure that we fit in, and then people will actually be able to benefit from male modeling, as per se, because it actually embodies leadership qualities in it.
All right, and obviously we've sort of touched on your journey into modeling. We're going to unpack maybe some of your environmental work as well, but outside of all that, who is Hillary?
Basically, Hillary is a confident, compassionate young gentleman who is just a middle child in a family of 3. I'm the only boy in our family. And then basically, I'm a dog breeder. Those are certain things that I actually do. I do design sometimes, but basically, I'm more like an introvert more than an extrovert, because modeling is more like an extrovert kind of a job or kind of an industry, but I see myself as an introvert, as we say.
All right. You're also into fashion design, along with the environmental work that you do as an activist. Does that feed into your fashion designing, the environmental work that you do?
Yeah. So basically, I am currently a student at Mandaba University Education, studying a degree in natural resource management. So I've actually thought and sit down, how can I actually incorporate the school work that I'm actually doing or the degree that I'm pursuing into the modeling industry? So hence sustainable fashion comes in the sense that we'll actually be repurposing old clothes into new. So it's just basically reduce, reuse, and recycling, in the sense that you'll be able to make sure that the environment is clean rather than tossing clothes on landfills. So my mainly advocates, the one that I'm actually advocating on this one is climate action, which is SDG goal number 13.
All right. So, I mean, you talked about SGD goal number 13 in terms of climate change. Is that your primary focus in terms of your environmental activism?
Yes, it is.
And what are some of the issues that you think maybe as a nation we need to be maybe paying more attention to in regards to that?
So basically, it only comes in the sense that people should really appreciate art, because like recycling, those kind of things, people that might see them as waste, but we rather take that trash and then turn it into gold. Hence, that being said, it's value addition on its own. So people should actually take care, more focus on that.
Beyond the runway and your work as an environmental activist, I understand you're also a philanthropist.
Yes.
And a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Just tell us more about that.
So basically, on the part of the philanthropic work, so this is what I do. There are certain organizations, like recently, we actually donated stationery at Tino Kwirira Special School in Mavuku down there. So we only identify places that lack resources. We don't really have much, but the little that we have, we make sure that we share, in the sense that people should actually be able to benefit from the little that we actually have. So in terms of the other aspect of me being a motivational speaker, basically when I started these things, I joined in an organization which is called Enactors. So Enactors is just an entrepreneurship action with us organization that embodies leadership qualities, businesses, and basically anything that involves the sustainable development goals that were set by United Nations Vision 2030. So we actually fall in under that. So basically for me, I advocate for things that are fit for our environment as an environmentalist.
And with the motivational speaking, is that primarily about the environment, or your motivational speeches are wider than just your environmental work or your philanthropy?
Not really. It's just the environment. So basically, right now, I have organized a mentorship program, which is Speak and Strat. I'm actually a co-director with that. So I work with Selma Mutenda. So she's Miss Unite Zimbabwe International 2025. So basically on this mentorship one, that's when you actually come in with career guidance, giving prospects to the youth out there to make sure that they abstain from drug abuse. They actually focus themselves into the right things rather than doing things that are bad to their health, or rather doing things that are bad for their future. So that motivational stuff, it actually comes in the sense that we'll be able to make sure that the youth, they benefit from the things that we have as the youth, because it's better to give a person the knowledge rather than just spoon-feeding the person.
You mentioned Speak and Strat. What was the motivation behind starting that and getting into that?
Hence that being said, speak and strat. Speak meaning say that you'll be able to talk in a nice manner, like leadership qualities that we actually embody, and then strat, walking. So this one, there's some people that kind of come saying like, oh man, I cannot even model. So hence that being said, we actually sat down, like, so how can you actually make sure that everyone embodies leadership qualities? Because either ways, if you go for an interview, you gotta have leadership qualities, because you actually sit down and then they ask you questions, and then if you're not really confident enough, you end up losing that job. So basically on Speak and Strat, we are only teaching people on how to talk, on how to walk, because modeling and leadership qualities, they work hand in hand. Because models, they have to be confident when they're on the stage, off the stage. You can even actually pick, like, oh, that's a model over there, with their walk, with the way that they dress, with how they talk. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's all of it.
And I think you also mentioned that with Speak and Strat, there's a lot of mentorship, especially of young people. Maybe just shed some light on some of the transformations that you've seen in your work as a founder and a mentor through Speak and Strat.
So basically, currently right now, we have models that I've actually worked with, in the sense that we've been working with them from the ground. Like recently, I think we have Mr. HRS Zimbabwe 2025 coming up pretty soon. I was the one who mentored Munashe Magezi, and then now he wasn't really confident in himself, but I'm seeing the change just because he wasn't really confident in himself, and then now it's actually transforming in something that is good in the sense that he can even contest in competitions like these ones.
But modeling is often viewed as glamorous, but you mentioned resilience, professionalism, mentorship, and all these things. How important are these values for people like Menashe that you have mentioned and other aspiring models?
So basically, that being said, it's a matter of you finding a safe space for yourself in the sense that you'll be able to beam out, to spread out the word out there rather than you containing the things in yourself. Because you might even have a talent, but yet other people out there, they don't even know it. So if you just put yourself out there, you'll be able to just see things in the light rather than keeping yourself in the dark.
Okay, looking ahead to the future, I mean, what is your ultimate vision or goal with Speak and Strut, especially as a mentor, and the impact that you want to see it have within the youth particularly?
So basically, we want to widen our horizon in the sense that currently right now we are only working in Harare, right? So in the near future, or maybe few months down the line, we have to make sure that it spreads across Zimbabwe and across SADC. Then pertaining that again, I'm actually preparing for an international competition coming up pretty soon in December, from the 3rd to the 13th of December, which is Mr. Friendship International. So I myself, I have to be a brand ambassador for Zimbabwe and a brand ambassador for Speak and Strut, because I cannot teach people things that I cannot even do myself.
Oh, that you are not aware of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure that I represent the organization and then make a brand out of myself rather than see myself as just Hillary.
Hillary, I thank you very much for joining us this morning and just shedding light on the world of modeling, how it ties down with your different passions, whether it's the environment, whether it's mentorship, or even motivational speaking. But just as you go, maybe I'll just get you to look in the camera there and just maybe your word to young boys out there who've never really considered modeling as a career, but who might have watched you this morning and are inspired. What are your final words to them?
In a nutshell, I can only say, be the best you can be. You're the only person that limits yourself. If you limit yourself, you won't shine. So the time is now. The time is now. Just know that you are the author of your own story.
Hillary Mandaba, thank you very much for joining us this morning.